Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. So the last update about the upcoming episode of Unfortunate Love was how Rishi had an accident while going to take Lakshmi back to the Oberoi house, and Neelam planned to leave the house once Lakshmi come back to the house. So let's continue from there. Shalu and Bani are thinking that Lakshmi will go with Rishi once Rishi arrives to take Lakshmi back home. Rano comes there. They inform Rano that brother-in-law is coming. Rano gets happy and says Rishi should take Lakshmi away from here and says Lakshmi's burden will go away from my head. Shalu says my sister is not a burden. In fact, she is lowering your burden by doing job. Rano says to Shalu that she wants Lakshmi's betterment. At least Rishi will get Lakshmi married to a nice guy. She asks Shalu to make Badan over. Rano says make less quantity for me. Neelam thinks that I never thought that this would happen in my life and says my own son, whom I have kept in my womb and gave birth to and brought up, and that Lakshmi snatched him away from me. Neelam says Rishi used to obey me, but now my words doesn't matter to him. She says I will not let Lakshmi come back here and says I will not stay here with Lakshmi and that Lakshmi should leave. Karishma says I tried to call Rishi to tell him about your decision of leaving the house if Lakshmi come back, but Rishi is not picking up the call. Neelam says to Karishma that let Rishi do what he wants. Karishma says I will not let the real Lakshmi, that is you, go away for the sake of another fake Lakshmi and says this is your house, and she asks why will you go? Neelam says something would happen even today which should not happen, and Karishma is worried. Lakshmi brings Rishi to Rano's house. Rishi asks if we came here to get her bag and return to the Oberoi house. Lakshmi asks if Rishi is fine. Rishi says you are my pain and medicine too, and he asks if Lakshmi is coming with him. Lakshmi says we should go inside and talk. Shalu and Bani sees Rishi and they hug him happily. Rishi feels pain due to his injury but he pretends. Shalu and Bani ask that how did Rishi and Lakshmi came together. Lakshmi says she met Rishi on the way. Rishi sits on the sofa. Bani gives him water. Rishi drinks water and asks Lakshmi to bring her bag so that they can leave. Shalu brings Lakshmi's bag. Rishi tries to take Lakshmi's bag and he feels pain, but Lakshmi stops him from carrying her bag. Shalu says I will keep Lakshmi's bag in the car, but Lakshmi takes the bag and keeps it aside and says Shalu will not take the bag. Rishi says no problem, we will do shopping on the way and buy new clothes for Lakshmi, so there is no need for the bag. Lakshmi says I am not going with you and says this is my house and now I will stay here, and Rishi is shocked. Rano comes there. Rishi greets her. Rano praises Rishi and asks Shalu and Bani to bring something for Rishi. Rishi says I don't want anything, and he asks Rano to make Lakshmi understand because Lakshmi says that she doesn't want to return to the Oberoi house with him. Lakshmi says I don't want to return. Rishi says you did not say this in the car, else I wouldn't have let you come here and I would have taken you to the Oberoi house straight. Rishi asks Shalu, Bani and Rano to ask Lakshmi to go with him. Rano asks Lakshmi that why don't you want to go? Lakshmi says she just doesn't want to go. Rishi asks how can you leave me and our family? Lakshmi says you and your family will be in my heart, but don't be stubborn to take me back to your house. Rishi says to Lakshmi that I will take you back home at any cost because this is right. Lakshmi says the truth is that I am not your wife now and I don't have any relationship with you. She asks if Rishi will stay in someone else's house without any relationship with them. Rishi says you are our house's daughter and he asks her to come with him, else he will lift her in his arms and he will take her with him forcefully. Lakshmi refuses to go with Rishi and says everything is already fine, so why are you ruining things? Rishi says I want your betterment and I want you, and says I request you to come, so please come. Lakshmi refuses to go and she tells Rishi that you are ignoring Malishka because of me and you love Malishka and you will marry her, so go back to Malishka. Lakshmi says to Rishi that I cannot bear this and I don't want any injustice to happen with anyone. She says we were married, but now we are divorced and we are not husband and wife anymore, and that is why I cannot go there. Rishi says our relationship is still there and says Lakshmi cut his word and says we are even friends now, but you cannot take me back to your house as a friend. Rishi says to Lakshmi that I have taken up your responsibility and I can take you home with me. Lakshmi says I did not ask you to take my responsibility and says I am thankful to you and says I have stayed in your house, but now I don't want any fight or argument to happen because of me, so I cannot go back with you. Rishi says to Lakshmi that nothing has happened because of you. He asks them to make her understand. Shalu asks Lakshmi to think about their father Virendra and says he might be odd that you went away from the house, and Bani also asks Lakshmi to go. Ranu asks Lakshmi that why is she not listening. Lakshmi says I have decided and I am not going back. Rishi asks if Lakshmi is coming home with him or not. Lakshmi says I will not come. Rishi says you have to come with me and he gives his swear, but Lakshmi keeps her hand on his mouth to stop him from swearing. Virendra comes to Ayush's office. Ayush asks him to sit on his chair. Virendra says it is your chair and he asks him to sit. He asks him to tell him the update. Ayush tells Virendra that their meeting with the investors is fixed and says that they should call the press meeting to keep the rumors at rest that our downfall has not come. Virendra says to Ayush that there is no need to call the press and says we will just convince the investors and then they will tell everyone. Ayush says who might be spreading the rumors that our company is losing. Virendra says it might be our enemies. Ayush says it might be my mistake that this is happening, but Virendra asks Ayush not to regret and says he should learn from his mistakes and he goes. Ayush thinks that his uncle is a super hit and he has always encouraged me and says I promised that I would handle the business well with honesty. Lakshmi asks Rishi not to give her swear and says if you try to take me away forcefully, then we will not have even friendship, and she asks him to go and marry Malishka and says even I want this. Lakshmi asks Rishi to accept her sayings and marry Malishka. Ranu asks if Lakshmi has gone mad and says Rishi has done so much for you and you have forgotten his favors and you are leaving him. Lakshmi says I cannot leave Rishi till I die, but that doesn't mean that I will stay in his house. Lakshmi folds her hands and says I will not return. Ranu says she is a mindless girl. Rishi gets sad and says I have taken responsibility of Lakshmi and says he couldn't fulfill his promise to make Lakshmi happy. Lakshmi asks Rishi to think about his happiness and says it is very painful to make someone yours and then leave that person. It is painful to go away from someone, so go back to Malishka. Shalu asks Lakshmi that why don't you understand that your happiness lies with Rishi. Bani says your happiness is with Rishi. Ranu asks Lakshmi to go with Rishi. Lakshmi angrily goes inside while Rishi leaves from there upset. Grandma thinks if Rishi would convince Lakshmi to return or not. Karishma comes there and says Neelam's sister-in-law is leaving the house. Grandma hears Karishma, but she did not say anything. Karishma says to Grandma that you are fine with Neelam leaving the house, but you are sad that Lakshmi, who is inauspicious for our house, has left. Grandma says I did not ask Neelam to go. Karishma says Rishi went to bring Lakshmi back and she is waiting for Rishi to come and says Lakshmi is an evil soul or she must have learnt black magic from some devil and that is why she captivated everyone in her trap. Grandma says to Karishma that if truly Lakshmi have black magic, then he would have been trapped by now. Karishma says thank God that she did not and says Lakshmi is inauspicious. Grandma says Lakshmi is God's avatar and she is neither inauspicious nor does she learn any evil magic from any devil, so Karishma should understand this. Rishi comes home and Karishma thinks that Lakshmi might be waiting outside. Malishka says to Kiran that if Lakshmi come back here, then I will murder her. Kiran says first let Rishi talk. Rishi tells Grandma that Lakshmi did not return. Grandma smiles and says I knew that Lakshmi will not return because Lakshmi left so that no argument or fight would happen here. Grandma tells Karishma that she was not shocked that Neelam would leave the house because she knew that Lakshmi would not come. Rishi asks where Mom wanted to go. Karishma says if Lakshmi had come back, then Neelam would have left. Grandma says we couldn't make Lakshmi as our house Lakshmi. Kiran says that Rishi might be hurt because Lakshmi did not return, and Karishma asks if Lakshmi is up to something. Malishka says Grandma is sad that Lakshmi couldn't become a daughter-in-law. Karishma says we will respect you more when you become our daughter-in-law, and she goes to tell Neelam that Lakshmi did not come. Kiran tells Malishka that she should bring Rishi closer to her and give Rishi happiness so that he can become hers fully. Else this time, Rishi will go far from her. Malishka says she will get closer to Rishi and make him realize how much she loves him. Lakshmi keeps her clothes in the cupboard while Bani takes it out. Shalu says, why didn't you go with brother-in-law? Lakshmi says Rishi is not your brother-in-law and says what did our father taught us? That we should care for others' happiness and we should not do anything that will hurt them, so she is doing the right thing. Lakshmi says to Shalu that you did not know what was happening because I was there, and says they were arguing and distancing from each other because of me. She says, should I stay there and let them raise fingers on our father's values? Shalu says, but brother-in-law and your destiny is the same. Lakshmi says, let Lakshmi's fate live on Lakshmi's fate and not on someone else's fate. And Shalu looks on. Okay guys, thank you guys so much for watching. Please don't forget to give this video a like, share it as well, and I'll see you all again in my next video. Bye guys.